Welcome to this lesson on image generation in ChatGPT. In this lesson, we're going to go over system limitations when creating images, business examples. We'll go through an image prompting structure, a framework that you can use. We'll do some additional image modifiers to get some more enhanced images out. And then lastly, I'll show you how to modify images. Let's begin. Let's first talk about system limitations with image generation. So there are constraints when you're using them. There's resolution limits. Usually it's like 1024 by 1024. You could do different aspect ratios, square, thumbnail, or square, landscape, for example. There is content restrictions, meaning that there are certain types of content, including explicit, violent, copyrighted material, cannot be generated. And especially things that are complex with scenes, lots of elements or characters. That's where the system kind of falls apart. So keep it simple, keep it clean, and it will work great. Next, usage constraints, the volume of it. There may be a limit on the number of images that can be generated within a specific time frame, but then after a few hours it just resets and you're good to go. You can't do this on the free version. You can only do this on the paid version, and for the models 4 and 4.0 especially. Then for customization limits, it's very hard to finely tune specific elements in the photo, for example. So just keep it general with the character, the scene, the action that they're doing, for example. Those are the bigger knobs that you could change, but finer things like lighting and tone and stuff like that becomes much more difficult. Then there's some model limitations. The AI might misinterpret, especially if there's too many things going on in your complex prompt, for example, too many characters, too many things to focus on. Most AI models have this challenge, which is called consistency. So if you're making a children's book and you want the same character to do different things in different scenes, for example, it may be very difficult for ChatGPT and other image generators to maintain the consistency of showing that same character with that same face, for example, across different scenes in a children's book, for example. Balancing the difference between realism and artistic interpretation might not always work out. It is an AI generator. It is trained on a specific photo library, for example, and so based on that training data, it may have a little it may be very difficult to get super realistic looking type of style, for example, or a very, very artistic style. There are other AI tools which we go through in this course, like Midjourney, for example, and there's also Night Cafe. So try your best to get an image out of ChatGPT, and then if not, doesn't work out, then you could try your same prompt in other tools such as Midjourney and Night Cafe. Let's talk about some business examples, 6 business examples here. So one is to showcase a product and that you're advertising, for example. And you can see here the prompt, a stylish young woman wearing a new season dress from our collection, standing on the city street with a fashionable background. Looks pretty nice in one shot. This is what it came out. Pretty cool. Next, for your social media content, say you're a company that sells living room furniture and you want to create a cozy living room with our brand's new furniture set and a family enjoying quality time together. So social media content to showcase a physical product. This is awesome. Then we get a lot of blog writers and people creating content, for example. So if you're writing an article about a chair, for example, that's ergonomic, here's one that goes, a professional workspace with our ergonomic office chairs and desks showing a person working comfortably. Very nice. 3 more examples. So if you're doing email marketing, very easy to create an image so that you can create more engagement from your email marketing. So here we're showcasing a happy customer using our new kitchen appliance while preparing a meal. Very nice. If you're an author and you want to write a book, for example, it could create a mock-up of the book cover, which makes it very visually appealing. So here we have a book cover for a new thriller story of a haunted house in the woods and 3 adults venturing towards it at night with flashlights and the style of Stephen King. Lastly is product promotion, for example. So say we're a small business that sells these beautiful looking backpacks, for example. We want to showcase it in out in the wilderness with people having fun using it. So here's one: a promotional image for adventurous backpacks featuring a hiker with a comfortable, well-designed backpack. The scene is lively and adventurous, with the group walking along a scenic path, showing the durability and style of the backpack. The hiker's backpack stands out, highlighting its features and benefits for outdoor enthusiasts. Very nice. You could get very, very descriptive. The more descriptive you are with the prompt, the better prompt you're going to get out. Looking across the different departments or different roles and purposes in your business, from marketing, sales, product development, customer service, training, e-commerce, event planning, even creating content, these are just some more image prompts to give you some more ideas of how marketing could use it to showcase a new product. A sales example is a sleek and modern showroom displaying your top selling cars with customers exploring these features. And then you can use these products or these images on your website and your social media. There is a whole caveat where now we're getting into the trend where Instagram, I know, will automatically tag your image as artificially generated. Other sites will require you to tag the image as artificially generated, for example. So just a little caveat there. But you could definitely put it on your website and your email marketing, promotion, and campaigns, for example. And all the way down to even content creation, a cozy home office setup with a laptop, office mug, and our branded stationery. Very cool. Let's actually go through the next thing of how do you create a prompt for generating images. This is what I recommend for the image prompting structure. There are 4 main elements to describe in your prompt for ChatGPT to know roughly what are you looking for as your first image. And then you can modify it and tweak it from there. So let's start off with the framework is a image type of a main subject in a background scene with some composition style. So here you could pretty much, it's almost like a little game, take one word from each of these columns to put together a photo of a product in a kitchen with natural lighting, for example. And then you could mix and match any one of these. Let's go into ChatGPT and let's do some examples of these. We're in ChatGPT and here's an example of a prompt. Create an image of a brochure image of a new product line in a modern office, clean and crisp, shown top down, looking at the desk, and the brochure taking up most of the frame, showing the product. So here it took a couple revisions, and we can see, of course, you can see ChatGPT still is not perfect, especially when it comes to fine details, and especially with when it comes to generating text. But if this was just to inspire a mock-up that I would send to a graphic illustrator to eventually create a very nicely image like this in Canva, for example, this is a great way that I could go, great, this is what I'm looking for, send it off to my graphic illustrator who will use Canva to make a really, really nice, clean image. So again, this isn't really, there's always limitations with these tools. They're meant to just get a rough idea for what you're looking for, but they're not perfect. So that's why I like to show these, because look, you're not going to get super perfect keyboard each one. I even had to do a couple prompts to change this and add more detail. So they're always going to be missing some detail along the way, especially when it comes to generating text. But no, this is a great way to start from a blank page to inspiration, and then you can start working from here in a better graphic design tool like Canva, for example. Here's our next image example. Create an image of a product shot of our smartwatch in a trade show booth. Make it very professional. Now this is also to show the details are not going to come out the best with ChatGPT, for example. Most of the other ones have much better image generation, especially we just want to be very, very descriptive, especially with your prompts. Add more detail, whatever it outputs. The main thing what you want to do is if it's not 80% there or good enough, you can go back to the pencil icon and add more context, more specificity to what you're looking for. But again, there are limitations to the details and what it can generate, and ChatGPT isn't really the best image generation tool. There are better ones out there, but for a quick mock-up that I could then send this off to, again, a professional to actually make a nice image, great, I could get started from there. mostly what you're going to be doing is constantly going back and forth trying to refine your prompt, refine your prompt, refine your prompt. It's their images are just, they're not always perfect, so we still have a long way to go. But yes, continuously add more context, add more detail, and then you'll get a much better image after a couple of revisions after you keep working with it. Let's talk about image modifiers. So again, the more detail that you add, or the more words and the more description that you add to your prompt, the better the image is going to be. You saw the last one, for example, like the backpack one. It's a huge prompt, a promotion image, and do. So again, the more descriptive that you are with your image, the better the prompt is going to be, for example. Now here, these are image modifiers. You have the mood, stunning, elegant, radiant, delicate. You have position, is it on the wall, off the wall? How to describe what the object or character is doing. How's the lighting? Is it warm, natural, cold lighting? Describe the detail. Is it realistic? Is it intricate? Is it highly detailed? But again, caveat, especially when you get to complex types of descriptions and images, ChatGPT can only do so much. You kind of have to give ChatGPT a break. It doesn't do detail or realistic that well. So let's keep it less complex for these models, and then you'll get a really good image. And then what's the angle of the camera? Is it a portrait, close-up, headshot, mid-shot, three-quarter shot? This gets into like filmmaking, which shots was just kind of funny. Let's try some of these examples in ChatGPT. So we're in ChatGPT, and notice how descriptive this prompt is, and we got a much better, higher quality image. Now I used this prompt in a couple examples to test it before, and the image always looks different. So that's the thing with continuity, is every time you may use the same prompt in a brand new chat and change nothing in the prompt, but the image will look completely different. So know that if you like what ChatGPT generates, download or save it. Definitely save it to your digital notebook, because it becomes very hard to get continuity across different images, even if you use the exact same prompt. But here, this looks really great, especially with the detail and stuff like that. As far as the first shot, this is awesome. If you want to download the image and you like it, in the upper right hand corner there's a download button, and when you click on that, it'll download. Notice that the file type is a .webp. It's a web type of format, so you could convert that using Canva to a JPEG or a PNG, or to resize it, for example. So I would take whatever this image is, throw it in Canva, and you could resize it, change it up a little, add some more text, and that's going to be the next thing. Here's our last example. Create an image of a photo of a sales representative presenting a new car model in a showroom with warm lighting, mid-range, and radiant. And this is what we got. Now you have two options here to modify the image. First off, if the image is totally not close to what you're looking for, go back to the original message, click edit, and continue to add more descriptions here until you get roughly 80% what you're looking for. But if you're like, yeah, I kind of like this style, but instead of a man, I want a woman, for example, well, then you could continue to chat with it and say, change the image from a man to a woman, and it will re-render a completely different image, but similar style, and it actually just modifies your prompt. So you can see how hard it is for it to get continuity across one image to another. So even taking the same image, it changes it. So just be aware of that. That's just a consistency challenge that all these image models have. Just know that there are other image generation tools that are much better at taking your existing prompt and then doing continuity across multiple images with the same style of character. But set your expectations though, especially when it comes to consistency. The tools just aren't there, honestly. Now, to demonstrate how to modify existing images, I'm going to pick a really cute example right here. Draw an image of a cartoon Dachshund dog on a grass hill smiling at the camera, for example. Great, it gave us our image. Now we want to modify this image and put on sunglasses on the dog. To do that, go ahead and click on the image. It's going to open it up in a little like photo editor mode. And then in the upper right hand corner, there is a select paintbrush right here. So if you click on that, I'm going to brush over the entire dog's head. Sometimes if it doesn't work out, just increase the brush size as far as like selecting more of the area. So then over here in my prompt, it says, hey, do something with this edit section right here, and I'm going to say add Ray-Ban sunglasses and click the little arrow so it updates the prompt. What ChatGPT is going to do is it's going to modify the selected section that you did. And now I added sunglasses to the dog, which looks pretty cool. So that's image modifiers. To modify the image, you can just select, highlight the area that you want to modify, and then give it a prompt, and it will modify that area. And then if I like the dog, I could download it to save it to my computer by clicking this. Remember, it saves it as a specific file, WEB file, which you can convert to a JPEG or image, especially using Canva. Very easy. And then if I want to know what the prompt is for this, if I click on the little eye symbol, it will show me what the prompt is. For example, a cartoon dots and dogs standing on a grassy hill, smiling at the camera while wearing Ray-Ban sunglasses. The scene is bright and cheerful, with the dog having a playful and happy expression. The grassy hill is lush and green. You see how descriptive this is? And if I'm like, yeah, I like this and I want to use it again, I'm going to click copy. But just know you could have the same prompt and put it in ChatGPT and it could still generate a completely different image. So that's just something, a nuance or challenge with these models. I wanted to add this slide which shows the top 10 better AI image generator tools because yes, ChatGPT does have the ability to create images using its DALL-E 3 model, but whenever an app, regardless of just AI, just in business cases and center in general, whenever a tool tries to do more than one feature, it usually does other features pretty mediocrely. And so it's like, that's why I really like to focus on one tool that's really designed for accomplishing one specific task and then stringing the best tools together to accomplish bigger projects. So ChatGPT isn't the only one that creates images. There are 10 other ones here. There's probably many more that are coming out as well too. But I want to go just through my top 3. Highly recommend Midjourney. We are going to be having a Midjourney course, full in-depth course of how to create images using Midjourney in this membership. So that's coming soon. The other ones are Night Cafe. And let's take a look at some of these real quick. On the first pick, I get a lot of feedback that people love playing with Night Cafe. Night Cafe is completely free to use and to create works. I don't know about the commerciality about them, being able to license them for commercial license use, because understand fundamentally, all of the images that were used to train in the training data for any of these models was stolen. So it's a really weird thing when we get into ethics and stuff like that, that understand just all of these models are trained on artist stolen work. It's incredibly sad. But this is a incredibly free one. I get a lot of people using this one, and you could create some amazing, look at some of these amazing works, to storyboard, to create a small children's book, to create some beautiful designs. For example, we can see here free to use, and then you can see you get access to a couple different models such as Stable Diffusion. There's DALL-E 3 and other ones. Very interesting. Let's take a look at another one, Midjourney. This is the one I've played with the most. I really love Midjourney. Once you get, there's a whole different prompting skill set that goes into these types of AI tools. You can't just take basic prompts and then throw them into these things. There's a whole different style of prompting, especially with Midjourney. When it first came out in January, I created my own short story because I wanted to push the limits of what's capable. And so this was a very short story, a science fiction book that I created called The Sacrifice of the Sea. I used ChatGPT to write the storyline, and then I animated it using Midjourney. And it took probably like 7 to 10 prompts to finally get the style, get the shot, get exactly for the, especially for the scene. For example, you have to play with these tools over and over again. You don't expect to get exactly what you're looking for right out of these tools. You really have to work with them. And even say, for example, to get this shot, I couldn't get AI to give me the shot that I want. So I ended up finding a reference image online just through Google Images. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Took the URL of that, fed that into Midjourney and said, give me this image in the style of, and just went through the prompting. And I got the shot that I want. And my favorite scene is this shot right here. You can see the details are great, but Also notice that it's very difficult to get continuity, like especially with characters. That's especially with video or image, it's incredibly difficult to get continuity of the same style, the same theme, because you can use the same prompt and feed it into any of these AI image generators, and it will come up with a completely different image. So just know that that's just part of the game of playing with these image generation tools. This one's my favorite shot. This shot right here. Look at that. So there's a short story about Cthulhu and a cruise ship, and man, this was really fun to make. But this was all created through Midjourney. So yeah, I just wanted to show you some better AI tools that are out there. Midjourney, ChatGPT isn't the best, but it's good for while you're natively just chatting with it in a prompt. You just want to create a quick mock-up that you could use to send to a graphic illustrator, or to start creating a much better design in Canva, for example. It's just a great way to go from blank page to that's something I could work with, for example. But the details will always get lost. Don't expect perfect from these models. They do have a lot of limitations, especially with fingers or details and stuff like that. Now it's your turn to create 3 images, and I create 3 little tasks. Number 1, create a great product ad image. Make an eye-catching picture that shows off a new product, making people want to buy it. You can look around your setting right now, look on your desk, look in your room, look at the office, pick one object, and make a product image to promote that product in an ad, for example. Next, design engaging social media content. Create a fun and attractive picture for social media that shows happy customers and makes people love this brand. You could pick a hiking one, super easy example, something hiking or camping, just something outdoors, and then try and create a social media post with that image to showcase a product or something for camping, for example. Lastly, make a clear and interesting infographic. Create a detailed and easy to understand picture that explains important information for a blog post. So just go look at a blog post that you've read within the last week that you found very interesting, and you're like, man, I really wish there was a picture that kind of like described what's going on in this blog post. Pick something interesting that fascinates you, for example, and then create an infographic for it, or create an image that just describes for whatever's going on in that blog post to make it more engaging. So go ahead and practice those things, and then also lastly, try practicing modifying those images using the paintbrush too. That's really cool. Then be sure to download your images, save them in your digital notebook, and then if you have access to Canva, go and convert those images to a JPEG, for example, or you can enlarge them or add more text to them, for example. That way you can get a little more better in your workflow as far as just creating a rough draft image, then throwing it into Canva to stylize it or add some text, for example, or to put it along with some other image or a specific format, such as thumbnail or square, for example, or just a perfect square, for example. Lastly, since I showed you some other AI tools, try taking these prompts and try out either Night Cafe or Midjourney, for example, and try and create another image using another AI tool to see the difference between ChatGPT and the other AI tools. Now, as I mentioned, we will go into a full in-depth course on Midjourney and how to create images on it and other AI tools, image tools, so that you have a round skill set of not just ChatGPT, but being able to use the best image generator tools to create images, the best text tool like ChatGPT to generate any type of text, for example, and then those combined is really unlocking the superpower that people can get really beautiful and amazing outputs rather than just relying on one tool. So we want to teach you a whole suite of tools, because eventually you'll need to master roughly about 10 tools to really become proficient across the new digital landscape. And that's the end of this lesson, and I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you.